look like a left-handed typist because he's missing a right arm.
He was like, get it, Dave, get it.
Shut it down right there, and I was just like, from that point on, I was just like, okay. When people came to me with black projects and all this, and even still to this day, I'm like on DeviantArt, when people see like a picture of me on there, they assume I want to be down with all this black stuff, and I'm just like
I do
that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Right,
you know,
right.
I wish you success on whatever you're doing.
Right, but I'm good.
But this is what I'm doing.
Just because I'm black don't mean I'm gonna jump on it.
If you look at it, it doesn't register as a black person. It just looks like good art.
Classic.
You know?
Classically.
What's all right art?
I didn't have to run down my resume.
That's why I had to say that. We all know how good you are, man. You're good enough that I can poke fun at you.
Yeah.
Nah, thank you for answering that for me, man.
Well, wait. We were okay. Let's do the audience.
I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what does a
What just
black
happened?
artist draw like?
You know what? Larry Strawman.
Oh,
when I saw his artwork, I
was like, that's a brother.
I was like, that's a brother right there.
Yeah.
And then like Joe Phillips. I was like, that's a brother right there.
Not anymore. You can't tell.
I knew Joe Phillips when he first came out. He did an issue of Superboy, and he had somebody getting kicked in the head, and on the bottom of the shoe tray it said "boot to the head."
Yeah, that's black.
I was like, black right there, damn, like the Ace of Spades.
No, I have to admit, I used to be somewhat of a chauvinist in comics. When I would see females doing art, I could go, "Oh, that's a girl drawing it. That's a girl."
Oh yeah, I got a lot of that.
And did you? I didn't.
Oh, really?
I didn't think that of you.
I didn't think it either.
That doesn't mean that it didn't happen to me.
No, I'm not saying it, but when I saw your stuff seemed. I'm like, it's very much guy.
Yeah,
it's hardcore. Yeah, you're hardcore.
And so, when I would see certain artists in a certain way they would draw, I go, "Oh, that's a girl," you know. And then when I saw, what was that? Shannon. He did Peter Pan. What's his name?
Oh, you talking about the
Erik
Larsen?
Erik Larsen.
I thought it was a girl, but he's gay. And I was like, "Oh, that's bad. I shouldn't be doing that."
That is
No,
so
but
bad.
that's not actually. It is what it is. Like some people have certain line strokes. Like Joe Phillips has a very soft line when he draws his anatomy and everything. And for me, it's like I draw anatomy too, but I have like a harder edge to it. So it's like, but I like dudes too. So it's like it is what it is. You know, I mean, I have a homegirl that I'm like, that's my Padawan that I'm showing how to draw stuff. And she's like, I want to draw Thor. And I'm like, well then good.
And you draw Thor. Wait, new Thor or old Thor? Because Thor's a woman now.
No, old Thor. But I can tell her, I was just like, if you're doing what you do, it's like there is a certain like feminine line that we just can't help but gravitate. It's a softer thing. Not saying that all soft lines are feminine, but it's just you just can tell.
Sure.
But it's like, don't balance those out with some hard angles a little bit. It will help you out. Trust me. For what you're going for, soft angle, bam, soft angle, put some some edge on it.
Put some motion on it, man. What? Get it.
She had a question and he had a question.
Yeah, it was some questions. Yeah.
So, oftentimes you hear there's not enough cultural diversity in comics. And I know when I teach comics that this last time, one of the greatest things, there's a lot of Middle Eastern students, when they found out that Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, it's great.
You hate that costume.
It's a terrible costume.
It makes sense though.
Can I speak on that? Because I have an issue with that.
Why couldn't you speak on it? That's why we're here. Speak on it.
My issue is why doesn't Marvel, DC, or whoever comes up with these characters come up with a new character instead of putting the avatar of a character that we know? Because that's a cheat.
Students felt the same way.
Because it's real. We all feel the same way.
We've talked about we talked about that.
I'll tell you why, because it's pre-sold.
Like dude in the Spider-Man suit.
We talked about this last year, though.
We talked about just walking up here.
Yeah, but we talked about this last year. The problem is there's only comics is a pantheon. There's only so many slots.
Yeah.
So what they're having to do in order to get any kind of what they feel like they have to do in order to get any kind of headway with minorities is jam them into a slot previously occupied by a male. Or a white person. But that's I mean
it's
you
partially
have
because
you
then
have
you
to
get the
build
press.
the gap.
You get the press
Plus
and
the
you
press
get the
on it,
numbers.
Press
Like you get the
and
people.
legalese, probably.
Yeah.
You have like a book like American-Born Chinese where you have that character Chin Ki,
Yeah.
who is it's a total racist character.
But is it funny?
Yeah.
It's got to be really funny if it's
I
racist.
want you to laugh at this, but I want you to feel like
feel it in your.
I want you to laugh uncomfortably.
But that's what you're supposed to do. If you're reading a book, you're supposed to feel things. And that's supposed to just look at it and be like, I'll spend some money on a book and some artwork. Screw that.
But also, he could get away with it. I couldn't.
You know what? You can get away with stuff, though. You get away with stuff.
You get away with stuff. But that's because he's been doing so much.
But even that, it's just like the fact that when he does it, it's from my perspective,
Like
when I read your book and you would do things, it just felt natural. I know I got your sense of humor. You were putting characters in there. You're like, I'm doing this because I feel this way. This is what I'm doing. I'm like, thank you. That's why I pick up your books. And you put characters in there, and I'm like, you don't pull no punches. You're like South Park. I love that. You know what I mean? I love that. And I'm like, thank you for doing what you do. That's come on, man.
As far as your question of marketing and changing people's ethnicity or sex, like basically it's to encourage people to branch out while bringing the fan base, because ultimately they want people to buy the books, not just talk about them.
It's
and
Hollywood.
what happens
They
a
want
lot
the same
with
but
people like
decisions.
I mean, you can talk a lot about ethnic diversity, but if no one buys the books, then the books can't be published because it's it's not a.
Well, if you look like imprints like First Second, they have a lot of Gene Luen Yang. I mean, I guess he's drawing Superman now for DC, but so you have there seems like there's a lot of Asian now, or
Jim Lee runs DC.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know how much more.
How much more Asian?
Biggest little Asian out there.
Well, but you're also looking at it as okay, American comics, and that's not what media is anymore. You're looking at this enormous. I mean, American comics are dwarfed by manga and stuff from China and Japan and Korea by like a gajillion times worldwide. I mean, we have it cornered on the movie market for sure. And
in
TV
America.
shows. No. Oh my God, we just did all these cons all over the world, and like everywhere you go, it's American comic book movies everywhere.
But they have Korean comic movies and all that other stuff.
But nothing like
the Chinese
nothing like
Wuxia movies, no.
Everything's like American comic book movies is what you see.
Attack on Titan movie. That's gonna be hardcore right there.
You know what the funniest thing about that? Let me say something real quick though. Attack on Titan. Wait. Attack on Titan. They're race bending. All the characters in the manga are actually European, except for Mikasa. She's the only actual Asian in the book. So they actually race bend the movie. I was like, yes!
But you know what I mean? But like, for me, when I saw it, I was just like, oh, they're not these characters. But I'm like, I'm cool with that.
It works. It's great. They can do what they want because they did it.
But the thing is this: if you're gonna make a character another race, you gotta own that. You gotta be prepared to own. You can't do it in tiptoe. You can't tiptoe, right?
Yeah.
You can't tiptoe with it. You gotta be like, that's what he is. Yeah. That's what he is right there. That's
okay,
what's
going on.
Wait. Shannon wanted to say.
I was just gonna say that comics is so much bigger too than what you read about on the internet. The biggest thing I've ever done, we've sold millions of copies, was a boxcar children's graphic novel that I wrote.
Yeah. Oh, My Little
Pony.
Pony.
That has not been covered on any news site.
Right.
Yeah.
That you read that covers comics. Hachette, biggest publisher in the world.
One of the biggest
library. You can go to any kid's library here in the States, around the world. It's I think in 180 languages.
Yeah.
I would love that if people knew that. But and there's other stuff like that. So you have to read between the lines on all
comics
this.
to graphic novels are what have made our libraries whole again.
Yeah.
And librarians have figured that out.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Because they did, like what you say in the past, they kind of like, we don't mess with comics. That's
they didn't want any
ridiculous.
problems. Then when you have kids laying in the aisle,
reading them, loving them.
You see that in the bookstores.
Get us more.
Repping them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Didn't you?
Yeah, he had a question back there.
And then you.
I'm interested in what you guys like with a minority lead, whether a book, a movie. What do you guys like? What are your favorite characters, favorite artists?
Savage Dragon?
Are you talking about? You're talking about any media. You're talking about anything.
Any media.
As a minority lead, what is your favorite?
A minority lead. I mean,
Amanda
Can I-
Waller. I said Amanda Waller. That's mine. Okay, I like Amanda. I own that one.
I don't think of it like
Outside
that.
of comics or in comics?
I don't
Any
specifically.
Bruce Lee movies.
Right. I don't have a specific
Jackie Chan.
I don't register it on that level. Strangely enough, you know what I mean. It's like I like what I don't really have a. This is my favorite minority thing. I have my favorite things,
Favorite
and
characters, and that's
if
it.
they're minorities, they are.
that's
But I
what it
don't.
is.
I try not to pay attention to it, and I don't. You know what I mean? So I would take me a while to answer that question.
I really
And it
like
just
shows
did.
like Walking Dead and Battlestar Galactica, where the people are just people, and they're not necessarily.
I hated the new Battlestar Galactica.
Are you crazy?
Throw the stones.
I'll tell you why. Hold on. Let me explain myself.
Hey man, you better go.
Let me explain myself.
Outrageous!
Let me explain myself.
Get your black ass.
That's the best show ever on television.
I came around.
Okay.
But initially I was extremely offended by the fact that there were 2 black leads on that show and 2 black male leads on that show, and when the show got rebooted, there was no black male leads. I was like, how you gonna take the only sci-fi thing with black male leads and take them both out and not give us nothing?
It's a conspiracy, brother, man.
I was offended. I was mad as hell. I was like, I'm not watching that show. And my boy's like, it's the best thing on TV. I'm like, I'm not watching that show. He's like, just watch one episode. I'm like, no, what? No. Let me get the rest of them. Let me get the rest of them. But I'm still mad on principle. I enjoyed it, but I still made them in principle.
I've never seen any of it.
So you do think like that? Well, you're right. That's right.
No, I think about it when I don't see it. If I don't see it, I notice it. If I see it, I don't focus on it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's there. I don't have to sweat this.
Right.
But that was something that was very influential for me because as a child, I watched Battlestar Galactica, and I was like, oh, look,
brother up in there, wasn't there?
brothers in space.
Yeah, they was.
So it was cool. So I was like, so when you take them out, if you take me out of something, I'm gonna notice that. Ask Guardians of the Galaxy.
But
if I'm in it, it's not as much of a thing.
I was on the bus with. I was taking the bus from Burbank. I don't know why I was on the bus. I looked behind me and there was Boomer right there, and he was like, I hope he doesn't notice. Yeah, he was like, I hope he doesn't notice me. That
Why you
kind
gotta
of
call the man out?
I'm just saying. I was close to the man.
Right.
My hero. I wanted to go.
This
is my hero.
But he didn't want to eat. Yeah. Didn't you have a question, sir?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's for you, Mr. Fucking.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Storyteller, because I talk long. Go ahead.
Right. Can you share with us one of your potential ideas, your story ideas?
Oh God, why would you do that?
So he gonna tap you like that?
Don't do that.
What can
Don't do
no,
that.
that's
Don't
a
do
long
that.
thing.
Give him skin.
Come by my table afterwards.
There you go. Great answer. Just give him skin.
Second part of that question.
Yeah.
How do your ideas address cultural diversity?
Oh,
Yes and no.
extremely. I'm gonna speak up.
Oh, he finally speaks.
We're on the phone all the time, and it's always based about a diverse group of people, and he has a Kingdom Come type thing where it has all the stuff that everybody would love, and it feels like it's not a forced idea of interjecting a ton of black folks, like milestone, here's this black thing, so he does have all those ideas, and he's just conscious about what you think more so than just what he's thinking to do. He wants to put that medicine in the ball of meat, so to speak.
Basically, for my opus, when I eventually, hopefully, put this out, I basically went to every culture and would look at their popular media and created heroes based out of their popular media.
Get it.
So my Japanese heroes are Sentai heroes. My Chinese heroes are usually Wuxia heroes because I'm trying to find other stuff, but I can't really find much else available. I have South American cultural heroes. I have Russian cultural heroes, and all Eastern Europe culture. I went everywhere, and I'm like, okay, America's not the only place that would have superheroes, and America's not the only place that would have prominent superheroes. So how do we, so what's in their culture that we can use to bring out, some people just have a weapon from that culture. Some people have a piece of a weapon from that culture that gives them their powers, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like you'd have to really read in it to find what the base is. Like sometimes I can't remember where I got it. I'm like, wait, where did that come from? But trouble to backtrack myself. But yeah, I went across the world and said, what are their cultures? What are their popular media? What are their historical, mythological stories? How do I make them put them in one world?
By this time next year, you'll see stuff that he and I worked on to develop some of this stuff.
That time.
How do you address privilege within the works that you do in terms of even diverse, including diverse characters? So for me, I know I'm a Filipino, I'm a person of color, but I'm also a man who has other privileges that women of color don't. How do you address in your works people checking their own privilege even when they're not the most privileged person in the world?
I don't know what that means.
So basically, he's saying that basically saying there's levels of privilege. Yeah. There's the top of the queue, And then as you move down the line, you know, there are different levels of, okay, I have advantages because I'm a man, you know, yada, yada, yada.
So, I mean, you're talking about how you address that in the work, like how stories that address that?
Most stories aren't really addressing it. It's kind of, you know what I mean?
And the thing is that
It's not really being addressed.
the thing is that just within every culture and within every everything, there is all this diversity anyway. I mean, the idea that it's a level playing field for everybody, or it's a level playing for all white people have this. It's like, well, not if you're ugly. Seriously, it's like, you know, girls get everything except that one over there is kind of a beast, and so she doesn't, and it's like, well, no. I mean, things work well.
Until they don't.
Until they don't. You know, and it's
like elements or tools that you would use in a story. They wouldn't be the theme of the story.
Right. It's like, I think it ends up
with that or something.
I mean, because in comics, like characters get turned into monsters. It's like, and everybody gets freaked out, and it's like, well, that's not a white thing, black thing.
That's
I don't know. I think essentially most comics are just the stories of those people without looking at it from. I mean, I guess you could write it top down from a political standpoint, but for the most part, people were just trying to tell.
I think you can lose a story.
That kind of storyline would slow the story way down.
Yeah.
And so when you have superheroes, you're usually on a level playing field, you know, where someone like Black Widow could hang in the same room as the Hulk and all that kind of stuff. It's showing that they're on the same plane. We know they don't have the same powers, but they're not going to get on that topic, so to speak.
You get that heavy in that book.
Who's that?
Oh, Miles. Oh, I love and hate Miles so much. You remember from last year. I'm still trying to figure out, what does Miles do?
He's just black.
What I'm saying, like most of the, like especially if you're gonna take over.
Yeah.
With someone, you know, especially you're going to bring in something else. He should have some kind of theme. You know, James Rhodes, when he took over for Iron Man, you know, he was a pilot, he was military, he had all this stuff. You know, John Stewart was an architect. You know what I mean? And he became a Marine. It's like, okay, Miles Morales is a kid. But even Peter Parker, exactly. Even Peter Parker was a scientist. What does Miles Morales do? What does he do? What is he about? You know, he's got all this crazy. You did that on purpose. He's got all this crazy stuff going on. No, he can't even make a little wet fluid. Like his friend does that. It's like, what are you bringing to the table besides powers?
I wanted it to be cool. I wanted to, but it's like, I'm reading it like, you're doing nothing for me.
Literally not doing anything. He's not doing anything. All right.
Hey, what's going on here?
How you doing? We're getting excited about it.
We heard you about the PSG thing.
But yeah, he doesn't add anything that anybody else does.
You don't want to know.
Story of going to get the lottery to get into school, and Uncle is crazy.
But what does he want to school for? He's supposed to be smart. And what? That's what I'm saying. I don't know what he does. That's insane. But what does he create an app? What does he do? What does he do? I don't know.
Let me speak on that. That's another problem that we talked about, is that DC and Marvel don't have the courage to do like what they did yesteryear with the Golden Age, from say like the J. Garrett Flash to the Wally West, completely cut it out and create a new version. Say this one is in the past, here's the new one that you're going to deal with.
Was it something I said?
If you actually were to say that Miles Morales really was the new Spider-Man, and this Spider-Man is old and he's gone and he's not the one that you're going to deal with from now on, you could create something new, completely new. And he doesn't have to be this pseudo fake Spider-Man.
And
You know,
at the end, he comes back. I mean, Peter Parker.
Exactly.
But that was a clone.
Yeah, don't bring him back and don't do any of that kind of stuff. Or just say like you were
There's a couple things there. First of all, the Flash, J. Garrett Flash, hadn't been around for years because all that stuff had wound down. So it wasn't like J. Garrett was there 1 month and suddenly there's the new guy and you're sitting there going, oh, I have allegiance to the old guy and there's this new guy.
But
Which is going to be
themselves as well.
Yeah, the problem is that nobody wants to create anything new for Marvel or DC because they're going to own it. Yeah. So they don't want to do it. And so it's like, if I'm going to create my own guy from whole cloth, I don't want to do that Marvel DC. I'll do that in Image Comics. I can own it, and then when the movie's made, I get all that money, and they don't get anything. I mean, it's just common sense, which is why they're suddenly going, oh, we're going to do a new Nova, we're going to do a spin-off. It's like, I can't do a variation of Spider-Man in my book. I could do Spider-Man at Marvel, so we could do a black Spider-Man at Marvel. Okay, that's one thing, but that's the problem with it, is they really haven't had anybody create anything of substance in the last 20 years.
When you guys left, they were like, we.
Wiedlin was the last guy who was actively creating new characters that were actually became popular.